Good morning, folks. Let me fix my lighting. No, I don't want to turn it off. Would you? Oh, I've got the remote upside down. Let's fix the lighting here as we get started. Although being in total darkness might be what we need here. Honestly, I am simultaneously looking forward to this and not looking forward to this because I know that I am going to not enjoy it, but at the same time, I know it's going to be a fun stream. So we might as well get started. This is going to be a bit. I'm probably going to get a little bit heated as we go. That's just the nature of the beast. So we might as well get ourselves started. Yeah, we might as well get started. Player's handbook. Let me also just adjust this real quick. Let's just adjust this real quick. There we go. That should be good. Everyone should be able to see it now. Alrighty then. Player's handbook. Let's see how we go. Oh, wrong button. All the credits. Let's see. Only 3 playtest analysts. Kind of worried about that. A lot of cover. A lot of illustrators, which is good. On the cover. Of course, that. Yeah. The usual stuff. Okay, let's go. Might as well start at page 1. 1970, created a game to make believe infuse rules with storytelling that never be anything like it. Game in which each player made their own fantasy character, teamed up with their friends to go on quests. One person served as the narrator and referee, and did everything they could to challenge and delight the other players. This game was, of course, the first version of Dungeons and Dragons, and you're now reading the latest version. It's an edition. Just call it an edition. Call a spade a spade. It's not a version. It's an edition. Well, never mind. Over the decades, people played D&D. Yeah. Bunch about all the people that they were playing. Okay, this is not a salute to them. You're trying to make money. Don't even pretend that this is a salute, Jeremy Crawford. I know what this is. You've got a lot of. You got to put it in there. As a teenager, met both Gary and Dave. Spent entire day with Gary. Did what D&D fans do. Share stories about adventures. I invite you to embark on such adventures anew. Okay, why are you bringing up that you mentioned that you met the original people who did this after Wizards of the Coast has spent so much time? I'm not even on page 1 and I'm getting into it. Holy crap! I'm on page 1. Essentially, I'm in the introduction and I'm already like. No. Why? So in the case of this, why are you bringing up that you met Dave and Gary Gygax? When Wizards of the Coast has spent so much time, and their team obviously has no respect for those creators after what they've done, after all the stuff that's been put out about them, after them sidelining them, calling them racist, trying to distance themselves from them. Why are you paying homage to them now? Are you trying to smooth things over? I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I'm going to keep going. Otherwise, we are not going to get anywhere on this, guys. Okay. Yeah. Invitation. No winning or losing. That's technically there's losing. You can be kicked out of your group. But that's because you're not playing right in the first place. Like, you're not playing with your table in the first place. So yeah. Might come to a tragic end. Search for powerful revive their fallen comrade, or the characters might make it. Yeah. What you need is Dungeon Master players, the handbook, DMG, and monster manual. I'd argue you don't need the DMG, but you know. Okay, learn by watching. A great way to learn the basics is to watch people play it. The internet offers videos of D&D play that show off the tremendous range of possibilities the game offers. I don't like this. No, go back. I don't like this. Learn by watching? Okay, I understand it. Like, it's a great thing. Learn by watching. Yes, you get to watch it. But I feel like you're creating unnecessary barriers to play. Because the people that go and search up D&D, live play D&D, how to play D&D, they're going to find Critical Role, they're going to find Dimension 20, they're going to find the big dogs in the space that do not reflect real games of D&D. They're done by voice actors, and it's going to create unnecessary standards. The fact that you're putting this in your introduction puts new players off to a bad start, encouraging them to set these standards so high. Not every DM can afford to spend $5,000 a year on minis, on tables. That is not a good thing to put in there. You're already saying the stuff we see online is how we want the game to be. And it's like, okay, no, half those are scripted. There are events in there that are scripted. There are entire writing teams behind it. You're creating, because I know what they're going to find. They're immediately going to find Critical Role, Dimension 20, the big dogs in the space, and finding those big dogs. And the book saying those are a perfect representation of what this game offers. Yeah, that's what the game offers, but it's not going to be what your average DM does. It creates an unnecessary step in there. It's not fair to DMs. They're getting put with higher and higher standards already, and your book is not helping that. Because now DMs have to go, this isn't Critical Role. This isn't Dimension 20. Roll initiative. Okay, I'm going to move on from that before I get completely stuck on it forever. Dice. Yeah, you need some dice. Character sheet. Yep. DMs need a screen. Yeah, okay. Battle grid, some use, okay, don't need, it's where that you're putting it in the what you need and then saying, this is what some people use. I would honestly like to keep that to a minimum. Go, this is what you need. You need dice, you need paper, you need a DM. That's it. And then it's like, okay, here's some recommendations of what you need. I just think it's badly formatted. Yeah, playing the game, creating a character, yeah, everything, worlds of adventure, actual playing the game. Okay, little bit of stuff about the game, building the Dungeon Master, build adventures, guide the story, adjudicate the rules, rhythm of play, basics. Yeah, this is all just the basics, so I'm just going through it, seeing if there's anything. Okay, exceptions supersede general rules. I kind of like that because it's letting you know that abilities will break down the rules. I think there's a trick to it. I don't think creative use of those abilities should supersede the rule. The exception. So, for instance, filling somebody's lungs with water. That shouldn't be an exception, and like that can supersede the general like line of sight rules. Yeah, but that's rule of cool stuff. 6 abilities, D20 tests, ability modifier. Yeah, everything. Basics, more basics. Okay, I kind of like the skills with different abilities. It creates some complications for online play, but it's good for paper. I like the idea that intimidation can use strength sometimes. I'm not against it. Actions, yeah, bonus action, reactions. Okay, what would your character do? I don't like that. Don't put that in there because people will use this as a justification. What would your character do? That is a bad thing to put in there because this is a justification that bad players use. Oh, it's what my character would do. Okay, then why did you make a character that would do that? It's a bad justification. Avoid character choices that ruin the fun for other players, and the DM choose actions that delight you and your friends. You shouldn't have to say that. I think putting the what my character creates unnecessary stuff because people use that area as justification for getting the last bit there. Hey, I don't like that justification. That's a terrible one. Why? Okay, I'm going back. Why are they putting these footnotes in here when they don't need to be? It's like, okay, putting the what would your character do just will, especially for new players. New players will be reading this and they won't, they'll summarize the whole thing. They'll forget that last bit about choose actions that delight you and your friends. Don't ruin the fun. They won't remember that. They'll just remember the, ooh, I can use this as a justification for doing something horrendous. Yeah, social interactions, how RPGs work, exploration, adventuring equipment, obscured areas. Okay, disadvantage on perception checks that rely on sight, heavily obscured areas, darkness, fog is opaque. You have the blinded condition. Okay, so they're giving you blinded when heavily obscured. I'm not completely against that. Light, bright light, dim light, darkness. Yeah. Dim light creates slightly obscured area. Okay, so lighting difference. Well, those lighting are pretty much from 5e. There's nothing different really there. Hiding, interaction with. Okay, yeah, more basics. Travel. Something feels weird with that travel time. Something feels weird with that travel time. I have to. Wow, we're 20 minutes in, and I'm pulling up the calculator. Okay, you're going 3 minutes. You're going 3 miles every 60 minutes. So you're traveling 1/5 of a mile every minute. Okay. No, that's yeah. Okay. Did they not do simple math? Okay, maybe 72 is a bit much. Okay, let's go 3 times 8. They're assuming 8. Wow, they're only assuming people are walking for 8 hours and then resting for 16. No, if travel time, you'd be wanting to get more time. You'd be going 3 miles an hour. I'd probably say 12 hours. That gives, what, 3-4 hours for some foraging, camp setup before having to rest. Yeah, I'd say 12 is a more accurate representation of, like, travel, which means 36. $120. Oh, that's 30. Whoops. 48 miles. Okay. Like, they're assuming 8 hours. Why are they assuming 8 hours? Okay, can summarize the travel without calculating exact distances or travel times, or the DM might have used travel pace as below. Yeah. See movement in combat. Move twice that distance for 1 hour. Mounts needs short or long rest. Okay. Fast imposes disadvantage on wisdom, perception checks, survival, dexterity. Okay. They're knowing the environmental interacting with things they find there. Okay, and suddenly we're into another example of how it works. Chance of success and ability. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's a lot there. Okay, and that doesn't even help with travel time. Wow, that doesn't help with travel at all. What do you mean perception checks? What do you like a new player reading this and a new DM reading this before they get into the DMG? That doesn't tell you anything about travel. That doesn't tell you how travel is supposed to work, how you're supposed to build travel. And I understand travel is one of those subjects that you've got to do in very different ways. For instance, I do two different kinds of travel. I do exploratory travel where the players don't know where they're going. Either they don't have a map and no one was able to like let them know the direction that they're supposed to head, and there's no clearly marked directions. And then there's travel for when you know where you're going. Either you've got a map, you have somebody that told you, hey, these are the roads you take, and they're easy to follow. You know, in my last session, I can give the example of the players stopped in at the end and asked them, hey, we need to get to this place. We need to get to another town. Where's the nearest town? And they go, well, if you look at the road there, you follow it east, and you follow it for about a 10-day. You'll reach Emafin's Pride. Okay, now they've got a location. Now they've got a location. They know where they're going. They know it's going to be about a 10-day. They bought some horses. They made their way out. And because of that, my travel rules are different. I can speed that along. I can be like, okay, we're gonna have an event every few days. Give me a navigation check. Here's your rolls. I actually use the rules from the One Ring 5e, which is a really good system because that game, it's Lord of the Rings. There's a lot of travel involved. And so when they're traveling like that, I'm like, okay, you're on an adventure. Okay, give me a navigation check that determines how far out an event happens, and that event can be good, at which point I'll have somebody else roll, whether that be your lookout, your hunter, your scout. I just think this doesn't give a DM enough information about travel time. They're going, okay, they traveled this amount. Okay, what happens on those days? And of course, the DMG probably has more information, but you're anticipating that a new player picked this and the DMG up and didn't just grab this. The PHB is for new players. The people reading through this section, I will never take a look at this section after we're done here if I'm a DM, because I'm familiar with it. I might reference parts of it, but this doesn't give me enough information to go off of. Okay, exploration is open-ended. They don't take turns moving through the dungeon. Checks to make sure they're clear where everyone is and what they're doing. I don't like that. It's like, okay, no. Some people some DMs do have their turns in the dungeon, and there's a reason for that. I have what's called dungeon turns. You can move so many spaces, and then monsters continue on their patrols. Different things happen. Flat out saying this doesn't happen is like, okay, no, that's detrimental. Teamwork, yeah, okay, know your spells, yeah, okay. Combat, here we are, order of combat. Dungeon Master determines where all the characters and monsters are located. Marching order, stated positions, yeah. Initiative rolls, take turns, initiative. Surprise, if combat is surprised by combat starting, that combatant has disadvantage on... I don't like that change to surprise. I don't like that change to surprise. Surprise. If a combatant is surprised by combat starting, that combatant has disadvantage on their initiative roll. What if I roll 18, 17? Okay, your surprise means nothing now. I don't like that. That feels off to me because that defeats the purpose of surprise. Like 5e, surprise was so strong. It's like, okay, no, if you planned your attacks, if you go in, you have you surprise them, you get a free round. I don't play with surprise rounds as too much because a lot of my monsters don't wind up surprised. I play with something called tactical advantage, which is when the players go into the fight, if they're prepared, if the enemy is not necessarily unaware, but isn't aware of their tactics, they get to exchange their initiative orders. This surprise rule just is like, okay, what's the point in planning now? All it means is that the enemy has disadvantage on initiative rolls. It means we might get an advantage from coming in there, but it doesn't guarantee anything. The old surprise rule encouraged people to play smart. This doesn't. Okay, movement. So your turn ties. If a tie occurs, the DM decides among monsters and players decide the order among tied characters. DM decide. Okay, I understand that. For initiative, I go off of higher dexterity wins. If you rolled a 20 and the monster rolled a 20 and the monster has 5 dexterity and you've got 2, the monster's got initiative. That's just a good rule of thumb that I use. Is just dexterity. Either for some effects, I use tie goes to the runner. If it's tied at that point, if you got the same dex as the monster, tie goes to the runner, which is usually the player, unless the spell is going on. Yeah, I use tie goes to the runner. On your turn, move distance and take 1 action. Okay. Yeah. Communicating. You can communicate however you are able through brief utterances, gestures as you take to your turn. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm glad they specified that because players have a tendency to try to make plans with each other during the fight. And I'm like, okay, I will stop them. I keep my players on not on a clock, on not a set clock, but on a pseudo clock where I go, okay, no. You've got so long to act, to be telling me what you're doing. You can't sit here and have a communication with somebody else. In fact, my rule is that you can talk to somebody. Yeah, you can talk to somebody real quick. You can say out a quick sentence to somebody, but they can't respond to their turn unless they use a reaction. You can interact with one object or feature, object interaction, doing nothing. Dodge action or ready action to delay acting. Yep. Ending combat, movement position, difficult terrain, playing on a grid. Yep. Breaking up your move, dropping prone, creature size. Yep. Okay. Making an attack, choose target, cover. Have the cover rules changed. Half cover, +2 to AC and dexterity saving throws. Okay, I like that. Cover now affects dex saves. Because you can dive behind that cover when you're dodging a fireball. Unless, of course, the target's behind there, in which case your 3/4 cover won't save you. I like that. I like that change. That is a good change. That's a change I want to implement. Cover adds to your dex save, too. That's cool. Attacking, mounted combat. Cost an amount of movement equal to half your movement speed. Your speed then spend to mount a horse. Falling off. The effect is about to move your mount against your will. I'm like that they've got some underwater combat. There's a little bit different. Okay, that I like that. They're actually adding some of the corner cases. You'll be fighting underwater sometimes. When making melee attack roll with a weapon underwater, a creature that lacks a swim speed has disadvantage on the attack roll unless the weapon deals piercing damage. That makes sense. You're not going to be slashing as quickly underwater. You know what? I've given a lot of crap to this book, but there are some changes in here that I'm like, those are actually good reasons. Piercing weapons work better underwater because you're not slashing around with them. You're just poking in. I'm doing well, Gift of Gabby. How are you doing? It's a good Saturday. I'm enjoying my coffee, reading the PHB for the first time. Where are you at? Okay. Currently I'm going through chapter 1. I'm playing the game. A lot of the rules are in there. So what I'm doing is I'm just going right through it. Honestly, I talked a lot of crap at first, and I'm like, yeah, there's some parts of this that I don't like. There's a lot of stuff in here that I don't like. Some of the descriptions I wasn't fond of. I'm not very fond of the surprise change. That bugged me to no end. That I'm like, okay, so you've eliminated the idea of a surprise round. I'm not fond of that. Although these mounted rules and the underwater rules, I can get behind that. I can totally get behind these mounted rules. I mean, these underwater rules. Non-piercing weapons have disadvantage underwater unless you have a swimming speed. Because that implies swimming speed implies that you're at least you would be able to fight underwater. But yeah, I'm still at the beginning. I haven't gotten to classes yet. Once I get to the classes, I feel like my blood will start boiling. But yeah, I'm going through here. I'm like, okay, there's some things in here that I like. There's some things in here that are good. Some of the descriptions I'm not fond of, but this stuff, like underwater stuff, I'm like, yes, okay, that's a special rule for underwater fighting. I am for that. The mounted rules, I'm okay with that. I don't think anything's changed there. I like the bonus to AC saving rules for cover. It encourages people to take cover, and I'm like, great, that is wonderful. Ranged targets should be taking cover. And the bonus to saving throws and AC from cover, that is a good change. That's something where it's like, okay, great. Now there's a reason to take cover against spellcasters. Okay, hit points. Yeah. We know about hit points. If you have half your hit points, you're bloodied, which has no game effects, but it might trigger other game effects. Okay, blood. Okay, they added. Give me a notepad. Is bloodied a condition? This is just so that I don't have to keep referring back to everything. They redded bloody. Yeah, they did bloodied. I'm like, okay, they redid bloodied. And I'm like, okay, no in-game effects, but I got a feeling that some spells will affect bloodied. I feel like monsters will also be able to know when a character is bloodied. I like that it's an actual mechanic now. Bloodied has always been a kind of nebulous effect for DMs. 4E Bloodied is back. I never played 4E, so I'm not aware of that. But yeah, Bloodied is an effect where I'm like, okay, new stuff. They're bringing back what works from old editions. I like that change because now it's like, okay, now there's an effect so that if your party, because a lot of, like in my case, I don't allow, what is it called? I don't allow necessarily external information. Monsters had special effects at half HP. I'm betting monsters have effects at half HP. I bet there's some spell effects that'll affect creatures at below half HP. When I get there, I'll get there. But I'm like, okay, I like this effect. And I feel like when I read through the monster manual, I'll also see that. Like I said, I'm not opposed to 2024 for the most part. An update to the 5e rules is all right. I have issues with how they did it, how they've been incorporating it, some of the problems that they've had with it. Some of the changes are not good. The re-release of the PHB, not too fond of that, but I'll read through it. Critical hit. Okay. This specifies critical hit damage. You score a critical hit, you deal extra damage. Roll the damage dice twice. Okay, that specifies that. Great. Resting. Yeah, short rests, long rests. I don't like that that's in a little there. Rules glossary provides the rules for short and long rest. Okay. I feel like they needed to have a section on resting. Say not in damage, but somewhere else. It might be upcoming. Like I said, I haven't read this. I'm going through this for the first time. I normally play a lot of 5e. I run my D&D stuff on 5e. I stream my prep sessions and my sessions. So it's like, okay, yeah, getting into this 2024 stuff, I'm finally taking a look and going, what do we have here? Yeah, damage. Okay, damage against multiple targets. Yeah. It's same. Yeah, nothing's changed there. Half damage. Yep. Damage types, resistance, and vulnerability. No stacking. Okay, they specify this because a lot of players get very, very confused about this. New players I found get very confused about stacking resistances. I'm glad that they put that section in. It doesn't change anything. Resistances have never stacked, but I'm glad that they specified for players, hey, these do not stack. Order of application. Bonuses, penalties, modifiers are applied first. Resistance is applied second, and vulnerability applies third. Okay, so I feel like that's overcomplicating it. And vulnerability to fire damage, and within a magical area that reduces all damage by 5, it takes 28 damage. The damage is first reduced by 5, then halved, then for resistance, then doubled for vulnerability. That's such a that is such a corner case. I don't know why it's in the rules. Most things won't have that, but I understand, like, okay, it's a weird example of how this rule works. Order of application. I feel like order of application is usually up to the DM. I like the idea that reducing effects happen first. That's how it happened. That's how it works in most things. Immunity. Yeah. Healing. Receive healing. Add the restored hit points to your current hit points. Can't exceed max. Okay, yeah. Dropping to 0. Instant death. There are main ways creatures can die instantly. Monster dies the instant it drops to 0, although they can ignore this rule for an individual monster and treat it like a character. Hit point maximum. Creature dies if its hit point maximum hits 0. Yep. When damage reduces a character to 0, character dies if the remainder exceeds their hit point maximum. Okay. Wasn't it half maximum in 5e? I should really just make sure I've got the 5e up. I'm like, I should just make sure I've got the 5e up. Give me a second. I'm pulling up the 5e rulebook because I'm going to have to compare and contrast. I'll just keep it open somewhere else. We are current. Whatever. I won't actually pull it up. I'm pretty sure it was half before. Okay, that was for instant death. Massive damage. Yeah, okay. Character demise. If your character dies, others might find a magical way to revive your character, raise dead. Sorry, I'm putting in notes stuff that I'm going to have to check later. I'm like, I've got to take notes. Raise dead versus revivify. And I know I'm probably spelling it wrong. That's me. Okay. Revivify. Oh, is raise dead a new spell? I'm going to have to go through all of my spells and double check it. This is just weird stuff that I'm going through. I'm like, falling unconscious, death saving throws. I hope they did not change death saves. Yeah, you can knock out creatures. That was always an option. Roll a d20, 10 or higher, you succeed. A success, a failure has no effect. On your third success, you become stable. On your third failure, you die. They don't need to be consecutive. Rolling 1 or a 20, you suffer 2 failures. If you roll 20, you regain. Okay, nothing changed there. No change there. Okay. Stabilizing a creature, temporary hit points, loss of temporary duration, they don't stack. Okay, that is some confusion that needed to be specified. Players sometimes think they can stack their temp hit points. I don't like how they're doing temp hit points. The fact that they don't that temp hit points not only don't stack, but you have to replace them, which means there's some corner cases where you can completely nullify, where a team or players can accidentally completely nullify temporary hit points. For instance, if somebody has 30 temporary hit points, let's see. Oh, you decide. Okay, that's different. I needed to read a little bit more there. No stacking. Yep. Same. Yep. Conditions can't be applied multiple times. More stuff like descriptions. This is how things might work. Creating a character. Get ready. Talk with the DM. Choose your character sheet. Session 0. Create your character. Choose a class. Determine origin. Determine ability. Alignment. Fill in details. Okay. Class before origin is interesting. Some people take it. I want to take a look at. I don't know how I feel about the new sheet, and that's not a like, oh, this sheet is bad. I actually kind of like the format where it shows which abilities are under which thing. I'm not completely against it. I think it's just got an odd design to it. They're certainly giving a lot of room to class features, special traits, feats. Very little to equipment. I'm betting the next page has inventory, cantrips, nope, spells. Is this the character sheet? Is there not a spell sheet? Is this not the spell sheet? Is there a third page? This can't be enough. I like the first page of this. The first page of this has a neat design. It's cleaned up a bit from the 5e. But that spell sheet. No. That's no. Here's the thing. Okay, prepared spells. So does that mean like a cleric who prepares a load of spells every time they get in there, or has to fill that all in and keep that in? Where like a wizard, their spell book and their prepared spells change like session to session. This sheet essentially forces characters to have somewhere else to write down all their spells. Before you could put all your spells in and then mark which ones you had prepared. No, this sheet design, like the spell area design, is so bad. And I'm one of those people that encourages my players to have spell cards on hand. What I do for my wizards when I'm playing at a table and not online is I've got like the spellbook cards, and what I do is I'm like, okay, here's your spellbook. Okay, there's all the cards from your spellbook. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna set out your prepped spells every day. You're gonna go, okay, I can take so many spells. It creates a visual thing for the visual players to be like, here's how many spells I need. Whereas the cleric's like, oh, I have all these spells at my disposal. All of these prepped spells at my disposal. I rarely change them. This encourages you to have to use an outside source. This sheet versus the old sheet for spells, this is not a good sheet for spells. I'm on Twitch chat. I want to pop over to our multi-chat as well. Make sure that no one's talking there. Yeah, this is such a... I know. It's a nebulous thing. It's such a nebulous thing that I'm like, what? Like... And equipment, backstory, appearance. This This doesn't have enough stuff. They needed a third page. They absolutely needed a third page. No doubt about it. There has to be a third page. Okay. The classic party. Okay, I'm glad that they give a classic party comp example. And then kind of what you can replace with it. That kind of helps new players. Cleric, fighter, rogue, wizard. Fun fact: the original D&D party was based on, I think it was the Golden Girls. Just a little fun fact there, if you don't know about it. Yeah, in the original D&D game, Gary Gygax and Dave, they I gotta remember Dave's last name. I know Gygax because you normally just call him Gygax. They based the ideal party comp on the Golden Girls, which is hilarious. Arenson. Thank you, Dave Arenson. I'm putting that in my notes. I'm a note taker. Thank you. I'm not as familiar with the D&D history as I should be. I'm getting caught up on it. Arneson. Thank you for correcting my pronunciation as well. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with it, especially because like on the old TSR stuff, the name his name's not on the cover. I wish it was. It's probably in there. I should read this more, but it's like 50 years old. Oh. Yeah, it's like 50 years old, so I'm kind of wary of reading through it. Maybe one day I'll do a read through of the AD&D book. Okay. Writing level, okay. XP, yeah, hold that thought. You can fill in more later. Armor training, yep. Determine origin. A background, a species. Let's burn that bridge when we get to it. Let's burn that bridge when we get to it. Choose a background, okay. Choose a species. Asimir, Dragonborn, Elf, Gnome, Glythe, Orc, Halfling, Tiefling. Okay, so they're different species now. Yeah. The good news is about books. You can pop over to the library and get a lot of books. For instance, I could pop over to my my local library, and I could probably just grab the D&D book off the shelf and rent it for a couple weeks while I read through it. Screw Wizards. I shouldn't be saying that. I'm reading their book. I enjoy D&D. But I'm like, at the same time, I don't want to give them any. I don't want to support this new thing that they're doing. And they're so expensive. They release so many books. You can't, especially when they're doing an entire new, not new edition, new sub edition, where they're like, we're changing a lot in there. But Curse of Strahd, book money is tight. It is very tight. Book money is, especially for these. Like, pop over to the library. If you're on Roll20, a lot of session, like your DM can share their library with you. And so, for instance, I share my library with my players. But yeah, the books are so expensive, especially when I'm not a digital guy. I don't like my books digital. I want a hardcover in front of me. I want something physical in front of me to read. I'm out here like, I got the book, and I need to put this back on the shelf. I need to put this back on the shelf because I'm like, oh yeah, I probably should not be playing with this thing. It's in a fragile state. A friend of mine gave it to me, a D&D book, and I'm like, the AD&D Player's Guide. It's in a fragile state because it is the 1982 version, and so I'm like, okay, it's in a fragile state. I need to stop playing with it. I'm gonna. Excuse me. There, I can play with this. The SG-15E. Ooh, 1989 Spelljammer box set. Yes. The old school stuff is by far the best stuff. Sorry. Some of the new stuff is good. I ran a Stargate one shot. They did a Stargate SG-1 thing a while ago. I ran it. It's a lot of fun. I encourage it. It's got some good gun rules and good gunplay rules. I enjoy the grenade rules. My players annihilated like 100 Jaffa. It was hilarious. But yeah, it's like, okay, I like to have these physical books, and them re-releasing all these books is such a pain. I can pop over to the library and I can grab a copy of the 2024 edition. That's probably what I'm going to have to do is Monster Manual. If I want a physical copy to read through a physical copy of the new Monster Manual, I'm going to have to pop over to my library, and they probably will have it in stock because, you know, no one's reading 2024. I want to know sales numbers. They know, they said it was the fastest selling one, but not the best selling one. But then they haven't released any sales numbers. I'm going to have to look at any sort of investor stuff, because there'll probably be information digging into that. But yeah, they haven't released sales numbers on this. And I'm like, okay, why aren't you releasing sales numbers on this? If this is your fastest selling book, why are you not releasing sales number? I think it's because they know the player base has rejected it. There's a supreme lack of trust with Wizards right now. This thing is older than me. Dude, that book is way older than me. Thing's like 15 years older than me. Those books are so much older than me that I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to touch those. Because those things are like 40 years old, and I'm like, they're in a good shape to be like on a shelf, to be hanging out for eternity, to be like set decoration. But I'm like, I can never dream of reading it. They're well loved. The AD&D books I have are well loved. 29. I'm 25 or 26, something like that. Yeah, 25 or 26. Let's see. I got to remember which. I think it's 26. I'll have to check. Okay, generating scores, languages. Okay. New with a crushed box. Ooh. Choose languages. Who raised you? Background and species from older books. In older D&D books don't include ability score adjustments. They never cut out the pawns. Oh, they never cut out the pawns? Dude, you're sitting on a gift. It's a beautiful. Lucky, man. I would kill for some Spelljammer stuff like that. Oh, man. Okay. I need to get back to this because I'm like, there's a lot to cover here. They barely touch books. I understand. Some people were just not like Spelljammer people. And so it's like if there was a previous owner to it, it's like they never really if they really didn't click with Spelljammer. For instance, sometimes you don't click with stuff. I ran Elemental Evil, and I just couldn't click with it. I'm like, I cannot click with this module. And so it's stuff like that. It's like, yeah, you can't. Sometimes you just don't click with things, and it's like, that's fine. Just move on, and you have these beautiful books that are probably have some value to them. They're nice little books. It's not very good. And I didn't run Temple. It wasn't Temple of Elemental Evil. It was just from the Elemental Evil line. It was Love Keep on the Borderlands. I didn't run Temple of Elemental Evil. I tried to run Princes of the Apocalypse. And I'm like, I just did not click with the module. I'm just like, I don't like this module. There's not enough info in here. Night Below is good too. Yeah. I might pick up Curse of Strahd and be like, oh yeah, we'll run Strahd. Because Curse of Strahd is iconic. Might take up Tomb of Annihilation. But I've been running homebrew stuff. So and my players have loved the homebrew stuff. And it clicks with me more. It's not well liked. I understand why. I understand why it's not well liked. It's the module itself is poorly designed. It's like, go kill these 4 things. Curse of Strahd. Everybody loves Curse of Strahd. Curse of Strahd has so much to it, and it's iconic. Looks like it got in a fight with a cat and lost. Sometimes that happens, man. What was it that got in a fight with a dog? I think it was my copy of Strixhaven got in a fight with a dog. I.e., the dog thought it would be funny to take it and put it in his and go hide it behind the couch and chew on it. Assign ability. Okay, backgrounds in older D&D books don't include ability score adjustments. So did they move it's probably coming up, but did they move ability scores to backgrounds instead of species? And an origin feat. Oh, they did? Oh, I don't like that change. Okay, strength. Yeah. Okay. And I'll get to that when I get into that. Because I have some thoughts. Like, I understand your background, like having a background in like construction work would lend to having a higher strength. Maybe a higher constitution. I understand like moving it around a little bit. But like, I if they wanted to change this, ooh. So weird looking at this and seeing like it should have been a separate from everything else. Yeah, here's the thing. I think there should have been, so they've got a +2 and a +1 bonus. I think they should have tied a +1 bonus to the species, because certain species in D&D do have better aptitudes than others. Elves are because of their long lives are naturally have a higher aptitude for magic. So a higher intelligence, higher wisdom, because of their long age. Dwarves, naturally, being down, they might have naturally higher constitution. Tying the +2 to your background and the +1 to the species, I feel like that was a good way. I feel like that would be a better way to do it, because I think they do need it to be tied to something. I think you want them tied to something, because that encourages you to take specific backgrounds. That encourages you to take specific species if you're trying to build a specific type of character. I think the Husky's trying to break in. I honestly think that's a good compromise. The +1 being tied to species, the +2 being tied to background. That way you get the bonus from either. Of course, DMs can break that however they want. I think that's just a good way to do it. It encourages different backgrounds with different species. It encourages multiple backgrounds. You like being an orc artificer, though? Nothing's stopping you from being an orc artificer. That's why I said. I think the +2 should be tied to your background, and the +1 tied to your species, because the species gets that minor bonus, natural higher aptitude for some things, whereas the your background determines a lot more. In addition, though, that also leads to another effect, which would be really cool, in that you can take backgrounds and species to get a +3 on ability stats. Instead of doing 2 and 1, you can take 3 on 1. It encourages creative build crafting. Bonus feat at level 20. Okay. Tiers of play, creating Yeah, I can see that. Starting equipment at higher levels. One common magic item, I guess. I don't. Most people start at level 3, so I feel like you wouldn't do that. That's just fine. Starting equipment. This is good for like newer characters and new DMs. Good place to start. Creating your character, starting equipment, prereqs, hit points, and hit dice. I'm trying to see if there's any changes. I like this. If you gain extra attack feature from more than one class, the features don't stack. They specify that, so you're not breaking that kind of thing. I kind of like that. Multi-classing. More multi-classing. Pact magic. Okay, trinkets. Yeah. Character class. Oh no, we're in classes. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is where I feel like things are going to go downhill. Oh man, I got a bad feeling that this is going to go downhill fast when I start going into character classes, because I think the change to classes are going to tick me off. Okay. Core traits for a barbarian. Strength K, D12, strength constitution, animal handling, athletics, intimidation, perception. It need more power. The new monk is actually good. It need more power. Yeah, sometimes they did need a rework. I do think in some cases they did need a rework, but I feel like there's some things that didn't need a rework and some things that don't. I've seen some stuff. I'll have to take a look at, like, for instance, it mentions weapon mastery here. I'm gonna have to take a look at weapon masteries and see what they actually do, because I'm kind of worried about that. Okay, becoming a barbarian. Yeah, all the traits. Yep. As a multi-class character, level 1. Okay. Ranger didn't get enough help. Look, we all know. Still the weakest class. Yes, we all know the Ranger is the redheaded stepchild. It's the redheaded stepchild. It's what it is. No, the Wizards of the Coast hates Rangers. I feel like it's because the writers got into a fight with a Parks and Recs officer at some point, and now they hate Rangers as a whole. They got in a fight with DNR, and now they hate Rangers. Okay. There's expression of their own deepest self. For every barbarian, their rage is a power that fuels not just prowess, but canny reflexes, heightened senses. Okay. Monk used to be the other red-headed stepchild. Now it holds up with the class. I heard about what they did to Druid. I'm afraid of, like, looking at the Druid because I'm a Druid player. So they'll probably be there'll probably be something in there that I'm like, I don't like this. And when I get to it, it's going to be rough. But let's go through the barbarian right now. Unarmored defense. 10 plus dex and constitution. Is that a change to unarmored defense? Okay, dexterity and con, which means if you plus 2 plus 5, so 7, 8, 9 with a shield without armor, technically, if you maxed out constitution and a little bit of dex, you can have a ridiculous armor class. Because it's plus your dexterity and constitution, which means if for some reason, say you've got a 20 in constitution, that's plus 5. You've got, say, a 14 in dex, that's plus 2. That's plus 7, so 19. Like this, especially because constitution is one of the big ones for barbarians, strength and con. Intelligence is usually the dump stat. Dex 2, Con 3, that's +5, so 17 with nothing but a shield. That's a lot of AC. I don't know if that's a change from 5e. I don't have my 5e book on me. I should have brought my 5e book with me. Okay, weapon mastery. Okay, weapon mastery. You get 2 kinds of simple martial melee weapons. Danger sense. You gain uncanny sense things that aren't as they should be. Advantage on dexterity saving throws. Okay, that has to be new. Sorry, I'm opening Roll20 over here so that I can actually pull up the barbarian from like my actual like compendium. That seems whoa. Where's my player's handbook? I'm frustrated that doesn't pull up night mode. Let's pull up classes. Barbarian. Here we are. Either that or I'm just not too familiar with barbarians. Okay, so yeah, so that hasn't changed. It's just me finally looking at the barbarian and going, whoa. Danger sense. Against effects that you can see, traps and such as traps and spells. To gain this benefit, you can't be blinded, deafened. They buffed that? They buffed danger sense? Why would you buff danger sense? So the old rule was that you just couldn't be blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. Now it's just incapacitated. Level 2, you get reckless attack. Yep. Then you get your subclass at 3, ASI, and then extra attack. Sorry, I've got. If you see me looking here, it's because I've got the I've got 5e on this, the 5e book on this screen from Roll20, and I'm just going through there like, oh, what's over here, and it's a little bright, so, whoa, feral instinct, yeah, okay. Extra attack. I think the big thing is gonna be like changes to the subclasses because nothing seems to changed. Feral instinct. At 9th, you get brutal critical. Okay. Instinctive pounce is something that they added as part of the bonus action. You can enter your rage. You take to enter your rage. You can move up to half your speed. So free movement. Okay. Don't know how I feel about that. Brutal strike. Anything changed from brutal critical? If you use reckless attack, you can forgo any advantage for a forceful blow. So extra damage for your brutal strike, for your reckless attack, forceful blow, hamstring blow. They added some stuff there. Relentless rage. Okay, proved brutal strike. Persistent rage. Brutal. Okay, they added it. They gave the barbarian a bunch of new abilities. Brutal strike. Because at 9th you just got brutal critical. So they took away your brutal critical. Barbarian lost his brutal critical and got brutal strike. Honestly, I think I would rather have the brutal critical than that. Yeah, I think I would rather have brutal critical than brutal strike. I would rather have my critical reduced to 19. Or, sorry, doing extra damage on a critical strike. Because you can bring it down. You can bring down the critical range. Proof critical epic boon. I don't like that they're putting epic boons in here. Subclass. Path of the Berserker. Sorry, I'm pulling that up as well. Because if I'm going through classes, I'm going to have to go through everything. Okay. Frenzy, level 3. Well, your rage is active. 3rd level, you can go into Frenzy when you rage. Duration, your rage can make a single weapon attack as a bonus action. Active, deal extra to first target you hit on your turn with a strength attack to determine extra damage roll. So they took your guys' Frenzy attack. Hello! Welcome to the party. We just barely got into classes. I'm looking at the Barbarian right now. They took your guy. Okay, so they added a bunch of abilities to the basic Barbarian, like Brutal Strike. Okay, they gave it a bunch of abilities. That's fine. But then, like, for Path of the Berserker, they took your guys' Frenzy attack. They took your guys' Frenzy attack? Are you kidding me? Is it because of a change to Reckless attack? No. So they lose their bonus action attack. Immunity to Charmed. Okay, that's nothing changed. Intimidating Presence. They gave you Retaliation. They brought down Retaliation from a level 14. My absolute is the Tiefling Pact of the Fiend Warlock. But any sort of nerf the Pact of the Fiend. See, I can't... yeah, they nerf spellcasters across the board is what I heard. Like, a lot of spellcasters got hit pretty hard. They're trying to bring marshals up to their level. They brought down Retaliation from 14 to 10. So they switched Intimidating Presence and Retaliation. Okay, it made it a bonus action. So that might be why they switched them. Sorry. Okay, classes are difficult, and I'm like, I can't like just read through and be like, this is what they do, because I'm like, okay, when I think about the class, I'm like, I got to think about what it can do. When I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, as you build up, how would you use this kind of thing in a fight? Shift from the Barbarian is just weird. Wild Heart. I've got 5E on this screen. So Wild Heart is entirely new. I wonder if it's supposed to be the Path of the Totem Warrior? Similar to the Totem Warrior? I'm thinking it's got to be like Path of the Totem Warrior. And we're going to talk about the Warlock when we get there. We're definitely going to talk about the Warlock when we get there. Totem Spirit. Rage of the Wilds. No. Okay, so we can just throw all the old stuff out the window now. The only thing that was the same was the the only thing that was the same was the Berserker. So subclasses we can throw 5e out the window. Animal Speaker, Beast Sense and speak with animal spells, but you can only cast them as rituals. Okay, I guess. I'm like, okay. I guess that's something you can do. Beast Sense. I feel like I would rather have an ability at level 3 than that. Yeah, they renamed Totem Warrior to that. I'm betting it's similar to Totem Warrior. It is Totem Warrior. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, it is Totem Warrior. I just missed the level 3 Rage of the Wilds. Sorry, glasses. I still kind of feel like I'm a little bit blind. I probably needed my yearly eye check. Okay. Resist. Okay, yeah. Tap into. Okay, so yeah, this is just Totem Warrior. Okay. I'm like, I got nothing big on that because I'm not familiar with the Barbarian too much. Barbarians have always been simple characters for me where I'm like, okay, yes, you want to rage. Okay, adding Totem Warrior. Sure. Embrace your angry furry. I know. Of course, as soon as I say that, I'm like, that's fat coming from me who plays a druid. That is definitely the pot calling the kettle black now that I realize it. Because I play a druid. Druid's my main class. Like, if I look at druid, Totem Warrior was a subclass in my opinion because resistance was the best subclass. Yeah, I bet because it has. I can see its versatility. Being able to pick which rage you got, which totem you're taking. What I find is the best classes are the best because of their versatility. If you can only do one or two things, you're pretty locked down. Oh, resistance to everything. Yes, except psychic. And they took that from you, didn't they? Oh, they took that from you. I can't believe they took that from you. Now it's Force, Necrotic, Psychic, and Radiant. Like I said, I'm not as familiar with the Barbarians, but seeing like as it used to be all resistances, but Psychic, adding 3 more is, ooh, I'm sorry. Climbing speed, swimming speed, commune with nature. Whenever you activate your rage, gain one of the following of your choice. Falcon, Lion. Okay. So at 14, you get 2 totems. Yeah, the fact that they gave, like, completely nerfed the bear. I would agree. Like I said, all these changes, I bet, were in Tasha's as optional rules. Most of these changes were in Tasha's as optional rules, so it's just like, just play them as optional rules. The issue is that this is my issue with releasing the 2024 version instead of naming it 6E or 5.5, because this is a separate edition. If somebody reads the 2024 version, they're like, I'm gonna go play in D&D, and everybody at the table is playing 5E, and like one of the new people is playing the 2024 version. You're like, okay, you're missing there. There's a break here that you don't see. It's like, take the optional rules from Tasha's. Just use the optional rules from Tasha's. Okay, Path of the World Tree. Okay. Tell me, what class is Path of the World Tree supposed to be? What subclass is Path of the World Tree supposed to be? Or is that one new? I think that one was new. Can't remember if it was or not. Okay. It sounds new because nothing else sounds like it. You know, you've got Totem Warrior, Berserker, Ancestral Guardian. Maybe. Let me check Ancestral Guardian. Gives you spell casting. Nope. Yeah, it is a new one. It's just a completely new one. Okay. Okay. Vitality of the tree. Your rage taps into different life force of the world tree. You gain the following benefits. Yep. Gain temporary hit points equal to your barbarian level. Okay, that's pretty good. Start of each of your turn, like decent. That can help. At the start of each of your turns, while your rage is active, you can choose another creature within 10 feet to gain temporary hit points. Roll number d6 is equal to your rage damage bonus. I don't like that. So it's just overcomplicated. Why not have it tied to barbarian level plus proficiency? Or barbarian level plus strength? It's like, why not make it simple? This just adds additional rolls for no reason. Because it's not going to be a lot. Or it could be a lot. This is a very swinging ability is my problem. At level 3, this is a very swinging ability. Sure, it scales well. But it... like... it could be like 2 times your barbarian level plus strength. That way it's less swingy. Because what happens if you roll, say your barbarian equal to your rage damage bonus. Say your damage bonus is 3 and you roll straight 1s. Okay. Well, that's sad. That means you're only giving out 3, but at the same time you could give out 18. It's like I said, it's a very swingy ability. Whenever a creature you can see take a reaction to summon spectral branches around it, target must succeed a strength saving throw. So a spell, or be teleported to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of your... What? What? You can take a reaction to summon spectral branches of the tree around it to teleport it. What? Why? I get it. Path of the World trait. I mean, it's a versatile ability. I like the ability in general. The idea that you can teleport, and it doesn't specify an enemy creature, just a creature, which means you can, in theory, teleport your allies. Because you can always voluntarily fail a saving throw. That has always been an option. Voluntarily failing a saving throw is an option. So in theory, you can use this to teleport your allies, and the fact that you can reduce its speed to 0 means you don't have to. Oh yeah, I always like popping in, hanging out. I love giving people company, chatting. I usually when I'm working, so I'm not able to chat as much. Usually when I'm doing some writing or D&D prep or editing, I'm like, I'll put something on in the background. Why not support our fellow guys out there, our fellow people? Hang out for a bit. I got nothing like. It's like, yeah, when I'm sitting there, having something in the background is nice. So it's like, go support everybody, hang out. I like I said, I don't really chat as much. So if I've got time, I'll chat. But I'm like, yeah, I'm usually working. And I appreciate you coming in and hanging out with me. We always enjoy people coming in, hanging out with us, chilling for a bit, talking with us, especially to be like, okay, what is going on here with this world tree crap? Battering roots. Your reach is 10 greater with any melee weapon that has heavier versatile property. Oh, so I've said this. Lurkers are the backbone of any stream. Any stream, lurkers are the backbone. Because lurkers not just boost numbers, but they also give watch time. But yeah, lurkers are the backbone of any stream. I always say that, and like I make a general rule not to call out lurkers either. I'm like, yeah, I'll just hang out and just for a bit and be like, yeah, if I lurk, I lurk. So I'll chat if I can, but yeah. I love lurkers. They're fantastic. Okay, level 10 battering roots. During your turn, your reach is 10 feet greater with any melee weapon that has heavy or versatile. Heavy or versatile? Okay, I have a problem with this. I don't know what weapons have heavy and versatile now, but in theory, a bugbear who gets 10 reach already plus so if it with, let's say, a battle axe, 15 foot. Oh, you're thinking just that? Oh, no. I'm thinking of how far we can push this. Does a whip have versatile? That feature ain't that great. It's not that great, but it's something that you can break. It's something that I see that can just be broken. Reach slow. Nope. Okay. Was it a pike? Does a pike have heavy? Heavy. Reach. Okay. I'm thinking about how far we can push this. Okay. So, Bugbear, Barbarian of the World Tree. With a pike. That means at level 10, our Barbarian Bugbear, because a Bugbear gets an additional 5 feet on their attack. So 10, 15, so this means with a pike, at level 10, a Bugbear Barbarian can attack 25 feet out. I take Polearm Mastery, Sentinel, and I can attack at 25 feet and activate the push property. I don't know if Pike has push. Think about that. Your Barbarian now has 25 feet of attack if they go Bugbear. Oh! With a pike. Like I said, I wanted to see how far we could push this. Rules is written, I can take Bugbear from an older book. That's so bad. And then assuming Great Weapon Master is the same way. Similar thing where I can wield 2. Whew. Like, tell me if I'm wrong, but I've suddenly just accidentally made a level 10 Barbarian that has 25 feet attack range. $20 feet attack range with a Bugbear, with a battle axe. This doesn't sound much good until you start messing with things. And then you realize, I don't know how this guy can swing at me from across the room, but he can. I got a problem with battering roots. I got a huge problem with battering roots. 25 foot
mission failed. We'll get him next time.
It's not even that complex of a build. It's a level 10 Bugbear Barbarian. Mission failed. Like, okay, because their goal was to not break it, they absolutely failed. Level 10, 25 foot. I'm going to swing my axe from across the room. I'm not throwing my axe at you. I'm swinging at you. I wonder if there's other feats in here that can give me additional reach. That's it. At some point, we're going to make a barbarian with the absolute longest melee reach he can. Because 25 feet is hilarious. But I feel like we can go further. Travel along the world tree. Let's see. Activate your rage. While you activate your rage, and as a bonus action, when your rage is active, you can teleport 60 feet. Holy crap. Okay, you guys probably don't play Smite, but there's this character called Horus in Smite that does something similar where you can teleport your entire team. It's a MOBA. I know it's not this kind of game, but I'm like, this reminds me of that. Your barbarian can just like at level 14 airdrop the entire team on a group. The barbarian can just flat airdrop the entire team from 150 feet away. Oh. I don't know how I feel about that. That's broken. Yeah, Raging Barbarian gets a better Misty Step. This is dumb. This is dumb. Path of the World Tree is dumb. I'm like, I liked this in theory. It was kind of cool in theory, but now it's just dumb. You know, teleport up to 6 willing creatures, up to 150 feet. Up to 150 feet into unoccupied spaces of your choice within 10 feet. So you put all the fighters right next to everybody. You put all the melee people right next to everybody. Spellcasters 10 feet away from everybody. Just airdrop everybody into the perfect battle positions. Path of the World Tree. Or if you can teleport just the spellcasters, because keep in mind you're playing a barbarian, a bugbear barbarian, and now have 25 foot. Sorry, I can't get across this 25 foot melee attack with a bugbear barbarian. Raging Barbarian gets 25 feet attack. Taking working from home a little too seriously. Path of the Zealot. Let's move on. Let's move on. Because I have more to say on that, but let's move on. Let's move on. Hey, our mod came in. He's working, so he's hanging out with us today. Okay. Receive boons from a god or pantheon. Okay, so this is your cleric barbarian. Divine Fury. On each of your turns while you rage, first creature you hit with a weapon takes extra damage equal to your 1d6 plus your barbarian level rounded down. So what is that? What was it called? Divine Strikes or something like that? Barbarians get Divine Strikes at level 3, as well as Warrior of the Gods. I have a pool of 4d12s that you can spend to heal yourself. Plus, you get a pseudo lay on hands. What is this barbarian? Level 6 Fanatical Focus. Once per active rage, you fail a saving throw, you can re-roll it with a bonus to your rage damage bonus. Okay. You must use the new roll. I don't like this. I really don't like this. Sorry, I am not liking this barbarian for some reason. It's just like, when you compare it to Berserker, who has a lot, World Tree, who has a lot, this guy just seems boring. Zealous Presence. You can unleash a battle cry infused with divine energy. Up to 10 other creatures of your choice gain advantage on attack rolls until the start of your next turn. Rest unless you expend a use of your rage. When you activate your rage, you can assume the form of a divine warrior. Okay, flying speed equal to your speed. Resistance to necrotic and psychic and radiant. Okay, more damage. So necrotic, psychic, and radiant. So the only thing you have, you don't have resistance to in raging is force. And revivification. When a creature within 30 would drop to, you can take a reaction to expend use of your rage to instead change the target's hit points to a number equal to your barbarian level. Why? I get that this barbarian works a lot better with other people at higher levels, but like I can't wrap my head around why you would take why you would take any of these classes over World Tree. Like Zealot is kind of meh up until level 14, then you get a cool little movement speed and revivify. Wildheart's totems, a nerfed totem warrior. Berserker is Berserker. Boosts your reckless strike, but doesn't really help. Of these classes, I don't know why you would ever not take Path of the World Tree. Tell me if I'm missing something, chat, because I don't see ever not taking Path of the World Tree. Although I do like Path of the World Tree. Like in my games, I would totally allow Path of the World Tree. That is such a cool subclass. Other than the 25-foot... sorry, I can't get over the 25-foot swing attack. It's like, yes. Okay, bards. We all know bards. Skill proficiencies, any 3 skills, okay. 3 musical instruments, then starting equipment. Let's see what they did to the bard. Okay, bardic inspiration. You can supernaturally inspire others through words, music, or dance, okay. Bonus action, you can inspire another creature within 60 feet of yourself who can see or hear you. Yeah, so nothing's changed there. Creature can only have 1 bardic inspiration die at a time. Creature fails D20 test. The creature can add the number rolled. Ooh, that sounds fun. One of my players is right now playing a Dragonborn College of Creation. And he's doing some wild... He's done some wild stuff with that creation. But College of Lore, yes. Okay. They removed Song of Rest from the new iteration. Yeah, I see that. It's missing. I'm like, but that's Song of Rest is good. Give me a second. I need to read up on because I feel like something changed here. Something big changed here. But I'm also one of those people where I'm like, unless I have I'm usually my intuition's usually right when I know something's changed. I'm looking at the Bardic Inspiration. I swear the Bardic Inspiration has changed. Bardic Inspiration, come on. Bardic Inspiration. You can wait until after it rolls the Oh, that's dumb. So they changed Bardic Inspiration fundamentally. Once within the next hour when a creature fails a D20 test. The old rule stated that after you rolled, you could do it, but it had to be before the DM declared whether it succeeded or failed. So the Bardic Inspiration was a good way to bump up lower numbers, but it wasn't a way to be like, okay, I failed. I get another shot at this. I don't like that change. It removes those moments where it's like, okay, the Bardic Inspiration, I feel like I need it just to get over the edge. That's dumb. Spellcasting, yeah. Expertise. at level 2. Expertise at level 2? Why are they giving you expertise at level 2? You get it at level 3 Okay, you get it at level 3 in 5e. I mean, why not? Yeah. Yeah. Expertise. I'm like, why at level 2? Why did they change that? But I guess most people start at level 3 anyway, so it doesn't really change much. As far as like the Bardic Inspiration being a flat buff, knowing that you failed the check before you have to use it, it's just annoying. You're right. It is just annoying for a DM. Jack of all trades. Nothing's changed there. Bard subclass. Yep. Okay. No Song of Rest. I like Song of Rest. They need a Song of Rest. Font of Inspiration. ASI. Counter Charm. Magical Secrets. Anything change in there that because I can't clearly see it, and I don't want to spend like 5 hours on this, so I'm like. Fails saving throw against effect that charmed. You can make a reaction to cause the re-rolled. Now has advantage. They changed counter charm, I think. They changed counter charm. Fails a saving throw. Because the old counter charm just gave him flat advantage. This, I guess this is a flat buff. Well, okay. They flat changed counter charm. And I don't know how to feel about this change. So this changed to counter charm. So instead, this is just a flat reaction, whereas before you would use an action, you would set it up an AoE effect where everybody has advantage against being charmed. This now is a flat reaction when somebody fails a saving throw. I mean, I guess counter charm works. I think it kind of defeats the purpose of a counter charm because this is, I mean, it's just a flat counter. It doesn't protect everybody. You only get one reaction, which means if everybody's being if they're attempting to charm everybody, I feel like this is a flat nerf to counter charm. The advantage is good, but the advantage for counter charm was better than this. Flat, way better. Sure, it took your action to set it up, but if you set it up, you're good to go. Epic boon, words of creation. Therefore, always have the power word heal and power word kill prepared. I mean, it's level 20. Most people don't reach that anyway. Spells. We'll go into spells when I get to spells and start reading through spells. Bard subclasses. College of Dance. Dazzling footwork. While you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield, you gain advantage on charisma checks that involve dancing. Unarmored defense for dex and charisma. I don't understand like how that's supposed to work physically. I get how it works mechanically, but because I'm not wearing armor or having a shield, I can be dancing, and therefore my charisma means I'm harder to hit. Are they afraid about breaking the face? You know, you're sitting there dancing and you just hear, "Not the face!" Why? Unarmed strike as... Get an unarmed strike as a reaction? Equal to your plus dexterity modifier instead of the strike's normal damage. Why? Yeah, the bard just starts breakdancing. Can't touch this comes on. Can't touch this comes on. Oh, no. Oh. Okay. Sorry.
FBI, open up!
I'm trying to figure this one out. Sorry, I know I'm going quiet. I'm just trying to figure this one out. It's got so many abilities to it that it's hilarious. You get additional, like... Okay, College of Dance is just weird, and I think you'll create a fun little melee bard. Multi-class into monk. Yeah, multi-class into monk. Bard monk multi-class is now a scary thing. Because now you can make an attack as a reaction. Inspiring movement. Reaction to expend one of your to move up to half your speed. Then you can also move up to half their speed. Okay, so now as 6 you can take a reaction and use. Okay, I'm liking that they're adding more uses for Bardic Inspiration. These Bardic Inspiration uses are really cool. At level 6, you can move without making opportunities as a reaction. You can get an ally to move. Somehow the BG starts playing when this bard starts doing stuff. It does. They have like there's gotta be music going as soon as this bard breaks out their dance. They start tangoing. They start river dancing. For flavor for the unarmed strike, it's kicks. Like, there's so much flavor you can do with this. I can't be mad. I kind of like this class. This class seems like a lot of fun. Spend Bardic Inspiration. If you don't have the incapacitated when you do so, roll your Bardic Inspiration die. You and each ally who can see you gains a bonus to initiative. I guess it expends a... I don't like that it's each ally. But boosting initiative is a cool idea, especially for a bard, because bards, especially dance bards, because they're pretty used to like keeping on time and reacting quickly to any changes that might happen with a partner. So I'm like, okay, I kind of like that. Tandem footwork works. Leading evasion, effect that allows you to make a dex save to take only half. You take no damage. If you fail, any creatures are making the same dex saving throw, you can share this benefit with them for that save. I kind of like that too. I like the College of Dance. It's a cool little bard. Like, you can build a melee focus, like not just College of Swords, because you could always make a melee focus bard before. But this is a cool, like, unarmed attacked bard. Where it's like, yeah, no, I specialize in dodging damage. I'm going to be in the fight, and I'm just going to flat start dodging damage. I can get behind this. I can get behind this bard. And like I said when I was going to do this like little hate reading, I'm going to hate most of it, but there's some cool stuff in here that I'm like, okay, that is fun. College of Dance is a fun subclass. College of Glamour. Yep, beguiling magic of Fae. Bards who study weave threads of beauty and terror into their songs. Beguiling magic. You always have Charm Person, Mirror Image prepared. Cast enchantment or illusion spell using a spell slot to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell. Target or charmed or frightened conditioned. You have to do an artifact. They break out a DDR machine. Charmed creature. Whenever they use suggestion or something on somebody else, their goal is to make them dance with them. When they use command, it's just dance. The idea is The thing breaks out into look when the College of Dance Bard is there. The things break into a musical so fast. That's a strong ability. In addition, immediately after you cast an enchantment or illusion spell using a spell slot, you can cause a creature within 60 feet to make a wisdom save against your spell save DC. The target is charmed or frightened for 1 minute. Do famous scene from Neon Genesis. They do. Yeah, they do the famous scene from Neon Genesis. Yeah, they do. Oh, okay. College of Glam. Okay, that's a strong ability. I gotta say that beguiling magic is a strong ability. Essentially, if you cast command, you get to affect 2 people. You get to charm people for an entire minute. Charm is a very powerful effect. Into a song or dance to fill others with vigor. As a bonus action, you can expend bardic inspiration. Choose a number of other creatures equal to your charisma modifier. Each of those creatures gains temporary hit points, 2 times the number rolled on the bardic inspiration die. Then it can move up to its reaction. Dang, we're gonna have some. Dang, the classes are just weird now. That subclass is. Did it change? I feel like it's changed a lot. I don't see College of Glamour very often because my bards take weird colleges. Since they saw me run College of Eloquence, they've really wanted Mantle of Inspiration. Okay, so that hasn't changed. They just gave Enthralling and took Enthralling Performance. Okay. Mantle of Majesty, that's still there. You have Command. Cast Command without expending spell slots. Take an unearthly appearance for 1 minute or until your concentration ends. During this time, you can cast Command as a bonus action. Command becomes a bonus action. This is a lot of crowd control. This is a lot of crowd control. Unbreakable Majesty. Having capacity for the duration, any creature that hits you with an attack roll succeed a saving throw, or the attack misses instead as the creature recoils from your majesty. I mean, it just makes your bard hard to hit. I'm like, this whole thing is like, look, the College of Glamour bard is going to be a nightmare for encounter building. I bet the College of Glamour already was, but this is a lot of control. Okay, let's move to College of Lore. Proficiency with 3 skills of your choice. Okay. Cutting words. Damage or succeeds an ability check or attack roll. You can use it to expend one of your bardic. Roll your bardic inspiration. Subtract the number rolled from the creature's roll. Turning the success into failure. That's just the Bard of Eloquence's ability. The Bard of Eloquence has a similar ability. Silvered Tongue. Not Silvered Tongue, no. Unsettling Words is what it was called. You can, I think it was a bonus action, though, that it's for any additional saving throw or attack roll. Ability check. Doesn't. Okay, so it's not, because it affects ability checks. I kind of like cutting Unsettling Words more, where you can affect their saving throws. That was a broken thing that I did. Max Charisma, Bard of Eloquence, my combo was Unsettling Words, which gives them, it was at that point in the game, a negative D8 to any saving throws, followed by Suggestion with a DC 18. And then it was always like the suggestion, because we were usually on a ship, it was like the suggestion was always something like surrender. Cutting words, yeah, magical discoveries, 6 2 spells of your choice, yep. Nothing's really changed there. Peerless skill. Sorry, I'm pulling it up to see if anything's changed with Peerless Skill. Nothing's really changed. I mean, it was College of Lore was a decent class already. So I don't see this changing very much. At all. Okay, that doesn't change very much. Okay, let's look at the cleric. Sorry, I've been at this for like 2 hours. My brain's starting to feel it. Yeah, let's take 5, guys. I need to take 5. I need to grab some water and brain food. I'm like, take 5, everybody. I'm gonna run a quick ad break just because our pre-rolls are back on. I'm gonna take 5. Get up, stretch, do what you got to do. But I'm gonna go take a peek around, like before we keep going, because we're gonna keep going for a little bit. I doubt I'm gonna get through the whole book today, but I'm probably at least gonna get through the classes. But I will be right back if you guys want to hang out for just a second. Yeah, I'm just going to be right back. I need a couple of minutes to just take a quick break. Like I said, I've been at this for 2 hours so far, and after 2 hours of straight reading, it's like, okay, you got to, and considering you kind of got to take a break before you fry your brain. I will be right back. Where did all the C chords go? Okay, we're back. We're back, fully back. Let's get into this cleric. Okay, let's get back to this cleric. Divine clerics, multi-class character. Okay, yeah. Usual stuff. Okay, divine order. At level 1, you pick your divine order. Protector or Thaumaturge? Thaumaturge. So at level 1, now you pick kind of whether you're going to be a melee or ranged focused cleric. I mean, I'm glad they took the heavy armor, and so technically every subclass can take heavy armor. I'm just figuring out how this this is just weird. This changes your clerics fundamentally. And the bonus equals your wisdom modifier. Dang, you really get bonuses to religion checks with Thaumaturge. Thurge. You can channel divine energy directly to the outer planes to fuel magical effects. You start with 2 such effects, Divine Spark and Turn Undead. So you get an additional ability as a magic action. You point your holy symbol 30 feet and focus energy on it. Roll 1d8 and add your wisdom modifier. You either restore hit points to the creature or force the creature to make a Constitution saving throw and take damage. So it essentially gives you like a healing. Man, the whack-a-mole's gonna suck when there's a cleric in the party. Like, they're just gonna be playing whack-a-mole with the fighter the entire time because now it's just as an action to heal. As an action, they can just flat heal like 1d8. Yeah, the whack-a-mole's gonna suck. I hate this. I hate this already. Between the, I don't mind the divine orders to be like, oh yeah, you gain proficiency with martial and heavy weapons. Okay. That means like ranged clerics are a thing now. Melee clerics are a thing now. That they were always melee before. They get some powerful abilities. But the divine spark is like, oh, whack-a-mole with them is already bad. This is just going to make it worse. When I say whack-a-mole, by the way, if you're not familiar with when I tell you talk about whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole is player goes down, start making death saves, healer brings them up by just a couple hit points. They either have to be dealt with again, which is the whack-a-mole. They go down, come back up. You got to hit them again. This just adds to that effect, and then turn undead. Subclass at 3. Okay, here's the thing. I heard some complaints about this, about clerics not getting their subclass until 3. Now, this doesn't mean it's not like you know who you worship until level 3. This is more like I don't mind it because it's more like, okay, at level 3, this is the point where you have the power that your the deity you chose when you made your character is now granting you the abilities from their domain. Honestly, some people complained about that. I'm like, it makes sense. It's fine. Let it be level 3. Ability score improve ISI, Seer Undead. Okay, Seer Undead is more versatile than Destroy Undead. I'm okay with that, just because Destroy Undead was so swingy, because it's you either threw a bunch of zombies and they immediately died, and that still happens with Seer Undead, but this is a bunch of damage to Undead. I'm okay with this, actually. I like Seer Undead over Destroy Undead. Because this means that even if the enemy is not within that like CR 1/4 range to immediately die, you're still getting damage on them. I'm all right with that change. I like the change for Sear Undead over Destroy Undead. Blessed Strikes. Yep. Hit a creature with attack roll using a weapon. Extra 1d8 Radiant. Yep. Blessed Strikes. Potent Spellcasting. Okay. Divine Intervention. Choose any cleric spell of... I don't like the change to Divine Intervention. It's cool. This makes it so it's less swingy. This isn't like Divine Intervention isn't an emergency thing anymore. An emergency help me anymore. It's more consistent. It's just I get to cast this spell for free. Any cleric spell of 5th or lower that doesn't require a reaction to cast. I don't mind it. I like the old Divine Intervention because it creates awesome moments. So I can tell you about a Divine Intervention that happened in my last campaign that I was running. They were facing down a red dragon in a field. This dragon was absolutely obliterating them. They were about to die. They had no chance. They were trying to run. The cleric churns Divine Intervention. Nails that 10% chance. And I'm like, that's cool. And he didn't like make a command like I want them to do this. Say it was a emergency. I need help. And it was a cool moment because I was like, okay, one, I get to reveal that this one character was actually the avatar of this deity. Additionally, I get to advance the plot at this point with a hallowed weapon, a special thing for my campaigns. And I get to give them this cool moment. So when the avatar shows up, they're facing down this red dragon. Everybody gets a bit of healing immediately. I give them I think it was 2d8 healing to everybody, enough to keep them on their feet while they scatter. And at which point the avatar goes, takes the bow from the ranger and says, I need 1 minute. Buy me 10 rounds. And so I'm like, okay. No, it wasn't a minute. It was 30 seconds. I need 30 seconds. It was 5 rounds. I need 30 seconds. And it completely changed that scene from we're all going to die, run, to now we have a chance. It changed the win condition of the fight. And I'm like, you can create those moments with Divine Intervention. You can't do that anymore. It was such a big moment in the campaign when this happened because I'm like, yes, 5 rounds. They bought the avatar 5 rounds to work on this bow, to quickly make this weapon. As soon as she finished the weapon, she one-shot the dragon. Because they had no chance. This was a random encounter in a field. They were running. They were already hurt. They were low on spell slots. And it's like this random encounter came out of nowhere. It created this awesome moment in the campaign where for once, not only was this character revealed, and there's a huge reveal for every character there that this person was the avatar and explains so many things about this character. And when the bow was made, the ranger got something cool because he served that deity. And it's like, great. This creates a great moment where she brings down a dragon. It's like, cool. And it was still very much earned. It wasn't like she comes in and one-shots the thing. It was like, okay, you're already on the ropes. You guys are about to die. This was an emergency. And it's like, okay, this has turned from a TPK to now we have a chance. It was a great moment for the campaign. Everybody loved it. Divine Intervention. I don't like this new Divine Intervention. I like the old Divine Intervention. The 10% chance, it was a bit swingy. I feel like they could have done it as an either or. Divine Intervention or Divine Intervention. You can either guarantee a spell from 5th level or lower, or you can do this. Or you can have the 10% chance to literally summon, like, not necessarily summon the deity, but invoke divine intervention. They should have at least added a different ability. I don't like this change to divine intervention. It completely ruins that aspect of it, of that cool moment where your cleric can have this awesome moment where they luckily succeed. Improved blessed strikes, epic boon, greater divine intervention. You can choose wish. I don't like that. Spell list. Cleric subclasses. Life domain. Soothe the hurts of the world. Disciple of life. Restore hit points to a creature. Gains additional hit points equal to turn when you spell cast. 2 plus the spell slot's level. I liked that more when I liked that more when it was. I think that ability was better when it was equal to your. I think it was your cleric level instead of the spells level. So they nerfed Disciple of Life, but I think they did that because of the change that they made that special action heal. But that no, they wouldn't have, because that ability, the Disciple of Life only affected spell leveled stuff, so it wouldn't have affected that. Choose. Oh, here we are. Preserve life. As a magic action, you present your holy symbol. Expend. Wow, my tongue just rebelled. That wasn't just a tongue tie there. My tongue like actively rebelled. Like it's like I don't want to know. Oh, okay. 5 times your cleric level. That's a lot of healing for a bloodied creature. This only affects bloodied creatures. Oh, you divide it amongst them. No more than half its hit. Okay, so they nerfed that. Okay, Blessed Supreme Healer. Yep, Light Domain. So they nerfed the Life Domain class. The Life Domain Cleric. I like the Life Cleric. I play the Life Cleric. I don't like that they nerfed this. I think the Life Cleric worked before as an active healer. This healer is not nearly as effective. Light Domain. At level 3, you get the light spells. Radiance of Dawn. Flash of Light. Any magical darkness, such as the darkness spell in that area, is dispelled. Okay, that's kind of cool. Make a Constitution saving throw, taking radiant damage equal to 2d10 plus 30-foot radius. And a 30-foot emanation, so 30 feet out. 2d10, so wow, that can be a lot of damage. That's like 20 damage to everything around you at level 3. Warding Flare. When a creature you see within 30 feet makes an attack roll, you can reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll. Corona of Light. You expend all expenses of Warding Flare when you finish a short. Improved Warding Flare. Short rest. Okay. You can give the target triggering attack a number of temporary hit points. So not only do you impose disadvantage, but you give temporary hit points. Did they turn the cleric into a very much more supporty role? The cleric seems very supporty now. So like the cleric was always seen as the healer before, but and as an active support, but the clerics were always in the fray. They're the type of war. They're a half caster. Is what they were technically half caster, or were they a full caster? No, they were a half caster. They were one of the 2 half casters. And being one of the 2 half casters, they're very. The new ones seem, especially with all the new abilities, very. They definitely lean into that support role. And being able to, and not really as much in the fray. Like all these abilities do not support somebody in the fray. Do we have a war domain? There's a war domain. Maybe he'll be in the fray. Trickery domain cleric, blessing of the trickster. Choose yourself, willing creature, to have advantage on stealth checks. And it lasts until a long rest. I don't like this. Sorry, that trickery domain is just... Why? This trickery domain is just weird. It feels weird. I'm like, this feels weird. The trickery domain, stealth until a long rest? Are you kidding me? Invoke duplicity, okay. Cast spells as though they were in the illusion space. Okay, so move out of the space. Okay, I don't mind that. That doesn't seem like a problem to me. Did we lose our chat? We did. We lost our chat box. Oh well. Oh well. When somebody chats, I bet it'll pull up. Trickery domain at level 3. You get trickery domain spells. Okay, you get 2 abilities plus domain spells. Level 6 to create or move the illusion. You can teleport, swapping places with the illusion. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Sorry, I'm looking at this like, this just feels weird. The trickery domain feels weird to me, and I don't know why. It probably hasn't changed very much. It definitely probably has not changed very much. And so I'm thinking the trickery domain, I think it's just because the class seems too supporty. Whereas all the other domains for the cleric seem very supportive. The trickery domain is one of the ones that I'm like, okay, this one is very much self-focused. Like, it can distract, it can cast spells, but I'm like, compared to the rest, this is a very odd thing. So, yeah. The trickery just seems very, very supporty, whereas the rest aren't as supporty. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. It does not... brain spaced again. It's that coffee. I haven't eaten anything since I had the coffee, so I'm like, oh, yeah, it's just getting to me. Okay, it's not supporty, whereas the rest are very supporty. The light and life domain are very supporty, especially for the new stuff for the cleric. Let's check the war domain. Please tell me the war domain is like, we're in the fray. Guided strike. Whenever a creature within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll, you can expend 1 use of channel divinity to give a +10 bonus. Okay. There it is. Misses an attack roll specifically. Okay. Certain spells ready. You get War Priest. Bonus. Okay. You can make an attack with a weapon. There we are. There is There's my fighty cleric. I've been wondering where my fighty cleric is. Avatar of Battle as 17. War God's Blessing to cast Shield of Faith or Spiritual Weapon, then expanding a spell slot. Okay, Channel Divinity to cast those. No concentration. That's okay. It's not great. Let me check the old War God's Blessing. Plus, the old book had a lot more classes in here. They very limited the classes. Let's check War God's Blessing. No, that War God's Blessing attack roll, you can make reaction to give plus 10 to bonus to the roll. That was the old War God's Blessing. Oh, because they moved Divine Strike into the actual cleric abilities. Man, that's kind of a nerf to the war cleric. Whether it hits or misses. Yeah, that's a nerf to the war cleric if I've ever seen one. That's a shame. Okay, Druid. Let's take a peek at this Druid. See what they did to my boy. I don't even want to open my eyes and see what's on the Druid page because I know it's going to be bad because I heard about what they did to my Druid and I... Okay. Druid features. Spellcasting. Okay. Level 1 Druidic. You know Druidic. You always have Speak with Animals prepared. They use you can use it to leave hidden messages. You and others who know Druidic automatically spot such a message. Others spot the message's presence with investigation check, but can't decipher it without magic. Okay. Primal orders. You have dedicated to one of the following sacred... Oh, so it's just like the cleric. Why did they do this to my half-casters? Where you now pick. Why would you do this to my half-casters? You've dedicated roles of your choice. Magician, you know one extra cantrip from the Druid spell list. Give you bonus to your intelligence checks. Okay, Warden, trained with martial weapons and trained in... So you either... Because you could wear medium armor before with the Druid. So you either are a purely spellcaster with only light armor, or you're and you get the bonus to the spell and nature checks, or you get martial weapons and medium armor. Bruh. They also took away the fact that the Druid couldn't wear metal equipment. So now you can have a Druid in like half plate. Bruh. The flavor for the Druid is gone. No, metal armor was cool. It was all made of bark and stuff. And now you can take metal armor. Okay. Wild shape. Assume the form of an animal as a bonus action. Do they? They stole that? They stole that from the Moon Druid? It's now just a bonus action? Why? That was cool for the Moon Druid, that the Moon Druid got a faster wild shape than everybody else. Why would you take that from them? Why would you take that from the Moon Druid? Let me check multi-stream real quick, see if there's make sure there's no one on like YouTube. Why? Why would you take that from the Moon Druid? Why? Why would you do this? It's so dumb to take that from the Moon Druid. It was something cool for the Moon Druid. Okay. Also, I guess people are not too fond of this. I've already lost 2 followers, but they were probably just bots. Or people trying to sell stuff and forgot to take me off their stuff, so whatever. Okay. You stay in a form for a number of hours equal to half your druid level, so it's a bit longer. Wild shape, again, having the incapacitate. Until you use the wild shape again. Have the incapacity condition or die. You also leave the form early as a bonus action. You can use the wild shape twice. You regain 1 expanded use when you finish a short rest. Regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay, so you're gonna keep 1 up as long as everyone else is resting. Known forms, 4 beast forms, yeah. The rat, horse, spider, and wolf are recommended. When you reach a certain number of forms increases. Rules while shapeshifted. While in the form, you retain personality, memories, and ability to speak. Why? Why would you keep the ability to speak? It was one of the fun things about the wild shape is like you're like you can't talk. You like nobody else would understand you. Okay. Game statistics are replaced by the stat block, but you retain your creature type. Hit points, hit point dice, intelligence, wisdom, charisma scores, class features, languages, and feats. In addition to gaining proficiencies of the creature, if a skill or saving throw modifier in the beast stat block is higher than yours, use 1 in the stat block. Why? Okay, you can't cast spells, but it doesn't break concentration. It can handle objects determined. Wait. Okay. So you stay in the equal to your druid level. When you assume you gain a temporary number, you regain. So this is just a flat nerf. Like okay, what's the point of turning into another creature now? What's the point other than the actual shape shifting? Like in combat, the effectiveness of the druid was that, and of most half-casters, were that you could be in the fray. This druid cannot be in the fray. This druid cannot be in the fray. The bonus was that you got additional, like a double hit point pool. What's the point of this druid's wild shape now? Like the melee druid is just going to be a melee druid now. There's nothing for it. Shillelagh and attack. Why would you nerf wild shape this much? What, like, the benefit of the wild shape was that it's not just temporary hit points. It's an entire new hit pool that doesn't carry over. So that when you wild shape back, it's like you are the tankiest tank. This also negates the fact that for healing in the wild shape form, and you can be killed in the wild shape form because you'd get knocked out of the wild shape form before. This is such a dumb change to wild shape. Yeah, this is a dumb change to wild shape. Wild Companion. Nature spirit that assumes your form to aid you. As a magic action, you can expend a spell slot or use a wild shape to cast Find Familiar. Okay, I'm all right with that. Yep. The familiar is Fey and disappears when you finish a long rest. That's okay. You get a little familiar. I'm okay with that. That's one of the Tasha's changes. Yeah, that was one of the Tasha's changes. And I'm not against the Tasha's changes. Not entirely. I'm not against the Tasha's changes. Druid subclass at 3rd level, ASI, Wild Resurgence. Once on each of your turns, you have no use as a wild shape. You can give yourself 1 use by expending a spell slot. No action required. Okay, you can keep it up. Spend 1 use of... you can expend 1 use of Wild Shape to give yourself a level 1 spell. That's actually pretty cool, being able to use your Wild Shape for... Wild Shape as level 1 spells. That adds some versatility to the Druid. I like Wild Resurgence. It's a cool ability. It lets you... It connects your Wild Shape to your spell casting. You can shift between them. If you burn through your Wild Shapes and you have your spell casting available, you can use your spell slots. That is a good change. If they didn't hit Wild Shape as ridiculous as they did, that would be that's a really good change. Elemental Fury, your wisdom modifier to any druid cantrip. Primal Strike, on each of your turns when you hit a creature with an attack roll using a weapon or beast form attack, you cause the target take an additional 1d8. Okay, improved Elemental Fury, beast spells, epic boon. Cast at level 18, you can cast in beast form. Archdruid, whenever you roll initiative, you gain 1 expended use. Nature Magician, longevity. You can convert uses into a spell slot. Choose a number of your unexpended wild shapes and convert them into a single spell slot. Each use contributing 2 spell levels. For example, if you convert 2 uses of wild shape, you can produce a level 4 spell slot. Okay, I kind of like that's high. Kind of every 10 years that pass, your body ages only 1 year. Okay, druidic longevity. That's a thing. I'm glad that they expanded on that. The only thing isn't the longevity anymore. I like the evergreen wild shape. Spell list. Circle of the land. Yep, you pick each circle and you get the spells from those circles. Land's Aid. Use your wild shape to choose a point within 60 feet of yourself. Vitality giving flowers and draining life. Thorns appear for a moment in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on that point. Each creature of your choice in the sphere must make a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC, taking 2d6 necrotic damage on a failed save. Okay, so you can use Okay, so this is more for the spell casting stuff. So Circle of the Land, it was a spell casting type before, but now it's really a spell casting type with the changes to wild shape. You can cast one of your that you have prepared from your circle spell list without expending a spell slot at level 6. You can recover spell slots in short rests. Okay, I feel like that makes the wizard's ability less special. That's too much regeneration. What about the resource drain? Plus, I swear that art kind of looks AI generated for the Circle of the Land. Oh yeah, look at the feet. That is definitely AI generated. If I'm wrong, just let me know, but I swear that has to be AI generated or somebody who can't draw feet. It looks AI generated. You can do the poison. You have risen. Okay. The maximum challenge rating for the form. Okay, you can channel learn magic when you assume wild shape, granting the following benefits. Divided by 3, rounded down. So CR1. So you get CR1 up until after level 6. Then it's CR2. 12 would be CR4. Okay, yeah. So wow, I don't like that change. They nerfed the Moon Druid. Until you leave the form, your AC is 13 plus Wisdom modifier. Total if that total is higher than the beast's AC. So you get to pick your AC. I don't like the new Moon Druid. They nerfed that Moon Druid. I'm so sad. When you reach Druid level specified, you get those spells. I don't like those. Why? Why do this to the Druid? The Druid didn't deserve this. The Druid didn't deserve this. Like, the Druid absolutely did not deserve this. At all. Wild shape, deal normal damage type or radiant damage. Okay. Changes that. Add your wisdom modifier to your constitution saving throws. In wild shape form. Moonlight steps. You get a. Does everybody get a Misty Step now at level 10? The Barbarian got a Misty Step. Now the Druid has a Misty Step. Does everybody just get Misty Step now? Shared Moonlight. Whenever you use Moonlight Step, you can also teleport one willing creature. So what are they going to do with Circle of the Wildfire? Because that was Circle of the Wildfire's ability, that lunar form, where you could teleport stuff. Teleport it and characters. The Druid didn't deserve this. Like, this Druid, okay, it was supposed to be an update. Yeah, it was just supposed to be an update. This is a complete rewrite of the Druid class. And it doesn't even do what the old Druid used to. It doesn't fill the same combat role. Like, they completely eliminated the half-caster role. Like, Wild Shape has been nerfed into the ground, so being a melee-focused Druid isn't even worth it anymore. Druid is now a spellcaster. Because what's the point of Wild Shape other than fueling your spellcasting? Circle of C. So what is different between Circle? Okay, I guess the C doesn't count for Circle of the Land. C spell table. Okay, use your Wild Shape manifest 5-put emanation in form of ocean spray that surrounds you for 10 minutes. Manifest it again. Or have the incapacitated condition when you manifest the emanation as a bonus action on your subsequent turns. You can choose another creature you can see from the emanation. Must make a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC or take cold damage. And if the creature push 15 feet away from you, so people aren't getting. This is another spellcaster. This is another spellcaster. See, the Moon Druid was the only non-spellcaster Druid. And they nerfed it into the ground because of what they did to Wild Shape. What's the point in playing a Druid? Your frontline Druid is gone. You're stuck with this. After the C, whoa. Sorry, something happened and Spotify decided it's going to play some music, I guess. Spotify just decided we're going to play music. I keep a headphone in, and I guess when it disconnected, it decided to play some music. That's annoying. Okay. This is getting more and more disappointing. This is getting more and more disappointing. Let's see Circle of the Stars. Is it any better? Because that's just like, yeah, keep stuff away from you, gain flying speed, resistance, keep yourself safe. What role is the druid what role is the druid fulfilling? Because right now, its role is fulfilled better by other classes. The only thing I had before was its wild shape, and that it was a very versatile class in that it can be your frontliner or it can be your spellcaster. It can serve the role as the healer, but it can also do other things. It can serve in a support role while tanking up front. It filled a very similar role to the cleric, whereas the cleric focused more on the healing side. The druid focused very much on the frontline side. So you've eliminated a frontliner with all these changes. So Circle of the Stars. Did they fix Circle of the Stars? Because Circle of the Stars was busted. Guiding Bolt. Cast Guiding Bolt without using a spell slot. If you lose the map, you can perform 1 hour to magically create a replacement. And it destroys the previous map. Starry form, retain the game statistics, but your body becomes luminous. Okay, let's see. Did you fix it? Archer. Was it? No, it was Circle of Twilight that was busted, not Circle of the Stars. Bonus action. You can arrange spell attack. Okay. Chalice. Okay. Cosmic Omen. Wheel. Woe. Okay. Twinkling Constellations. Doesn't do much. Okay. What did they do to the druid? Like, this is not the same druid as 5e. Like, this was just supposed to be an update. This is nowhere near the druid that we had. Ah, why? Like they didn't need to make these changes. Yeah, they didn't need to make these changes. Okay. I think that's it for today. For now, I'm gonna go. I need to blow off some steam because this is a nightmare. What are they doing to 5e? This is ridiculous. And we didn't even get into the species, the changes to stuff. We're barely through the classes, which means this is part 1 of this. We're on to the fighter next time. Yeah, I think this is a good time to take a break and blow off some steam because that druid was a nightmare and we've still got 3 or 4 classes to go and we've been at it for 3 hours. So we're going to stop here. I might play some games, but we're going to go blow off some steam because this is ridiculous. We will catch you guys later.